John Smith Memorial Trust was created as a permanent memorial to the late Labour leader, the Right Honourable John Smith MP.
What John Smith would want us to remember him by is that he put social justice, a commitment to democracy, a belief in equality for all as the central points of anybody's political agenda, and he believed that the litmus test of any system of government was that they promoted values of justice, fairness and democracy.
He was a strong, committed individual. He embodied those values in his personality, and he inspired you because he was somebody who would actually put them into practice.
The Trust runs an annual fellowship programme which brings 23 young leaders from 7 states in the former Soviet Union to the UK for 5 weeks to learn about the theory and practice of British democracy. At the end of their fellowship, they present an action plan at number 10 Downing Street of how they will apply the lessons that they've learnt when they return to their own countries.
This is a programme that is making a difference because it's spreading the values of democracy in a way that is effective. It's changing people's views about how important these things are to a successful trading country and a successful commercial relationship with other countries, quite apart from the moral importance of the values and what they stand for.
My name is Dino Todirashko. I am a 2007 John Smith Fellow.
My name is Adalbek Ismailov. I am a John Smith Fellow of 2007. I came from Kyrgyzstan.
Ekaterina Kamakharia, John Smith Fellow 2006.
These are young leaders running NGOs, working in Parliament, working for ministers. One of the most important features of the fellowship is that it creates a safe space where fellows from countries involved in frozen conflicts can come together and debate these difficult issues. Sometimes their states find it impossible to negotiate.
John Smith Fellowship is not only about leadership, it's about sharing experience, it's about learning from each other, and I see it as a very important part of the program, not just teaching us what to do, but also enabling us to act as the transformers of that power.
The 7 countries to which we go are in different stages of development and have different sorts of problems. It is incredibly important that those committed to democratic values talk all the time and ensuring the values are predominant.
Our country is a country of transition, and our vision, our ideas of democracy and human rights are limited, unfortunately, by the framework of process taking place in our country and within the Central Asia.
Democracy is not a perfect system, it's a process. And it's a process whereby you try to learn from your mistakes. So when we come here, we're not trying to preach down to people and say, this is how to do it. We are saying, look, we've been there, we've made mistakes, we'll tell you about our mistakes. If you can learn from them, well and good.
It helped me to understand how the system can work, how it can be realized. Now I understand how can it work for my country, and I can say that my vision is more or less clarified.
I had an opportunity to meet both NGOs, civil society organizations and central government representatives. And I'm finding the schemes that can be adapted into Armenian context.
It's been inspirational to meet the fellows from Georgia, but also from Russia and Moldova and other countries. And it's a mutual learning experience.
If you ask me in short what I got from participating in John Smith Fellowship, I would say it's motivation and the vision.
It changed many things, how I look at the world, how I look at interactions between people, between the countries, global politics. It broadened my vision of the world.
The chance that I had to spend time in the UK and also the relationships like I've managed to create throughout those 5 weeks in the UK cannot be compared to anything else.
The issue of freedom of information was quite interesting thing for me and quite new. So the actions taken upon my return to Kyrgyzstan were I presented the UK statistical system to my colleagues
We've planned and organized 2 job fairs in my city, and about 200 young people were employed after this initiative.
We are trying to support integration of minorities into society. This is a talk show basically, and through this talk show we try to help them to sound their voices and problems nationwide.
My new project goal is now to develop and implement gatekeeping as a key mechanism in the strategy of reform of childcare system in Kyiv Oblast by 2011.
Every year that goes by, the authority of the John Smith Trust grows. The values which inspire British life, including British commercial life, get more and more embedded in those countries. It is so important that we build on that strength.
The fellowship is sponsored by the Ministry of Justice as part of their international programme in civil society and democracy promotion.
I'm responsible for assessing and making recommendations to ministers about the impact of the John Smith Fellows. I consult all of the British embassies in the relevant countries and the European Commission. And I can say without hesitation that the response from all of them is very positively in favour of the Fellows and the impact that they make.
BP considers itself a guest in Azerbaijan, where we've been there for over 15 years. We'll be there for a good few decades to come. Understanding that country is very important to us as a business. If we only listen to people from within our industry, we would not be so effective as a company in the country. And I think the Trust Fellows give us an ideal opportunity to get that other perspective.
We want Britain to be the first place that they think of as investment partners, as trade partners, and as advisory partners. I want to see trading companies here, but I also want to see solicitors, I want to see banks, I want to see a whole range of professional services that the United Kingdom can provide.
For me personally, democracy after the program is about being able to hear other people's opinion and actually to share them.
Due to this fellowship, I enlarge my knowledge about very, very valuable issues as human rights, not just in Great Britain, but all around the world actually.
Now, after the program, I'm really convinced that my society, my country, deserves to live in open, democratic society.
I believe that we will reach democracy via building partnerships and sharing the social responsibility.
So if you say to me, what's the memorial to John Smith? I can say to you, look at the fellows who will attend the conference in Georgia, look at the fellows you will meet in London, look at the fellows who will come in 2008. They are the living memorial. They represent people who have imbibed to some extent the values and the concerns that John Smith managed to articulate so clearly during his lifetime.